Hey, good afternoon. Today we're tying a yellow and black woolly bugger. We're going to use some materials recently found at an estate sale. Been to 2 estate sales in consecutive weeks. And both times found some nice fly fishing paraphernalia. The hook I have in a vise is something I found at the sale. It's a Mustad 9674 number 6 streamer hook. I removed it out of its original packaging. I like to use these little pill packs. They fit into the system I use to store hooks. The lead I'm using is 030. It's out of my own stash. Go ahead and wrap it on, about 10 wraps. Go ahead and break it away. This point I showed you before on previous videos, but I like to staple pliers, crimp that end over. Thread I'm using is this Royal Sissi 100 denier, some old stuff of mine. Go ahead and start on in front of the lead. You want that lead to be near the front half of the shank of the hook, about 1/3 way up. Cut away your tag end. Wrap your thread all the way back to the top of the bend of the hook. Alright, now we're going to add the strung marabou. This marabou is something out of my stash. There was yellow marabou in the collection of materials that I got from the sale, but it was a little different yellow. And this one here matches the hackle that we're going to use. So take your tail, take your marabou. You want your tail to be about 3/4 length of the shank of the hook. I don't like a long tail. The longer the tail, the more short strikes you're going to get. You want that fish to grab that hook point. So about 3/4. Give it a wrap. Give it a few wraps back. I want to go ahead and cut away this so I can work with it a little easier. I got enough wraps on there. Now you can save this marabou for your next fly. It won't be as pretty as your first one, but the fish never seem to mind. So give it a few wraps all the way back to the top of the bend of the hook. Wrap it back forward. Make sure you secure it. I'm going to give it one wrap up and under. There you go. How's that look? Nice. Alright, now we're going to add some crystal flash to it. I have 5 strands of the crystal flash. This is yellow. I have a whole collection of different stuff. This is from my materials. There was only one crystal flash color in the materials that I got. It was a different color, off-white I think it was. So go ahead and lay it up against your fly. Give it a wrap a couple times there, and take the remaining, bend it over toward the other side, go ahead and wrap it in. This way they should be nice and even. Go ahead and cut away to the length of the tail. And there you go. little crystal flash on the other side. Now we're going to tie in a piece of monofilament. Monofilament I'm using is this old stuff from my collection I always keep on my tying desk here, just for basically ribbing like this. Just take a section maybe 10 inches long or so, that's all you need. Good, tie it in. All the way back to where you started that tail at. And now we're going to add some chenille. Chenille is from the materials that I found at the estate sale. You picked it up at the Fisherman's Paradise in State College. 50 cents is what they paid for it. I'll take off 3 lengths of the shank of the hook, and that's always just right on about the right amount to wrap it in. If you want, you can go a little longer, but I found that 3 lengths is pretty much just about right. When I tie it in, I start right behind the lead. Wrap it all the way back to where you started that tail at. Take your thread, I'm going to give it a couple wraps here to build it up a little bit. And take your thread all the way up through the lead. Now you can take your time and cover up that lead with your thread, but I really don't feel there's a need. Take my chenille, start wrapping up forward. Get my pliers here. These Hackle pliers are also something I found in that stash. You can see this is going to be just enough. Trim off just a little bit of that excess there. Wrap it in. Make sure everything's secure. If you want, grab your lighter. Alright. Now the Hackle, the saddle that we found at the estate sale, is a bright yellow saddle, dyed. It is a pretty good size. I mean, you got maybe all the way down to a 16 or so dry fly, all the way up to streamer size. Something I would never do. When I need a specific color, I dye it myself. This one here is one that I did recently, but being there was a whole saddle there, it was a good find. I selected a streamer side, or streamer size, from the kind of underneath the saddle there. You want to go ahead and tie it in with the shiny side facing up. When you want to tie it in, you want everything to sweep backwards. Go ahead and give it a couple wraps. You can cut away your excess stem here. And now when you start palmering it backwards, first I like to stroke the feather down a little bit. You want everything to be swept backwards. Make sure the first wrap, everything's facing backwards. That's one wrap, two wraps, and now palmer it all the way back, trying to space it evenly. I'm going to add these hackle pliers to it. Also something I just got. If I just said that or not. Smaller than my previous pair, but pretty strong. I can see myself using these a lot. Another wrap all the way to the back here. Let's see, do I need to give them one more? Nah, I think that's enough. Alright, take your monofilament, pull that back out of the way there, getting caught in the tail, there we go. Take your mono, capture that hackle, and as you wiggle it, bring your mono up forward, trying to space it as evenly as you can. A lot of guys like to use wire. I think mono works just as good, because I got a lot of it. Take your hackle, kind of pull it back out of the way. Give it one more wrap up through here. Here we go. Now take your hackle, pull it out of the way. Tie it off. Go ahead and cut away your mono. Take your feather from the rear. Good, cut that away. Reach in there. Try not to cut anything else away. Take all the barb wheels back and tie up yourself a nice little head here. Remember, if you tie it back on top of your hackle, you're going to sweep it back. If you tie it back on top of it too much, you're going to sweep it back too much. So try to be careful there. And now take your whip finish tool. It's something else I also got new at this state sale. It's actually a really nice one, nice wooden handle. Feels like a Cadillac in my hands. I've used the same one for years. I'm left-handed, and I had to find an ambidextrous one years ago. Nothing with any curved end on it, and this is the one I used for years, but this is a little thicker. This is ambidextrous. After the whip, cut away your thread. And now you can take your brush everything out. Take some Sally Hansen's. A little dab here, a little dab underneath. You want to take your bodkin. So also I found this bodkin in the bunch here. It was all rusty. Put a little steel wool on it. Bring it back to life. I don't know if he made this or not, but it's got a plastic handle on it. Looks like something he could have just drilled out and put the pin in. But the steel wool that I have is in this old pill container. I always clean my bodkins up like this. And there you have it. Got yourself a yellow and black woolly bugger with materials that I found in an estate sale. Come out nice. Alright, hope you like these videos. If you do, give me a subscribe, give me a like, give me a comment. Stay tuned for more, because I got a lot more materials I found at this last sale. And hopefully I'll tie some nice flies up for you. Alright, see you next time. Have a good day.